Hello, my name is Anisha. I'm a qualified auto electrician and I work underground. So I created this channel especially for the apprentices and maybe some are looking for the information or you're newly qualified, you want to work underground as an auto electrician or electrician. So there are scenarios that we always see and fix when you're working underground, or breakdowns that we always see underground. So I think my first advice for the apprentices or the newly qualified artisans or technicians is that when you want to work underground, you need to be able to read and interpret the schematic diagram. That one is a must. Why? Because the static system that we know, when you are working underground, there are a lot of things that are looped inside the circuits. So you need to be able to read and interpret the diagram. It's become easier for you, right? So, and also the multimeter, number two, you need to know how to use a multimeter. So this multimeter should be your friend, the schematic diagram should be your friend. So if you are not quite sure, use this time or your spare time to find someone or experienced technician to help you how to read the schematic, and also you can actually research on your own and how to read, how to interpret what does this mean and what is this. I actually I'll make sure that I can make a video about the basics of electrical diagram for trackless mobile machines. So let's see this. Let's say there's a breakdown. There's a common breakdown that we always see when you are working underground. The engine is cranking, but it's not starting. It's a very common breakdown, and most of the technicians they know this breakdown, right? So, firstly, when you get this breakdown, right? When you hear this breakdown, already we are ruling out number of things. For example, the starting system. The starting system, be it starter motor, starting relay, wiring, and ignition key. We are ruling it out because it's cranking. It means these things are functioning perfectly. But there is something that is restricting the engine to start. So already starting system, power is there, a power supply is enough, ignition key is fine. So what else are we looking at, right? So there are three things that we should come out in our mind. Number one, fuel system. Number two, the interlocks. Number three, the sensors, crank sensor, cam sensor. Those are the things that you are trying to see when you get this type of breakdown, right? So what are we going to start? Because when you're working underground, we should avoid downtime and we should fix the breakdowns as quickly as possible but safely so that this machine can go back in production. So let's go this. Let's say the engine is cranking but not starting. First thing is check the e-stop. All the e-stops, check them by visual inspection. Check the neutral switch. All those things you can check them visually. You can actually try to release and press to see exactly, are they fully released, are they not active? But when they are active, most of the machines will crank but it won't start. The interlocks, there are a lot of interlocks, but these interlocks are mostly the cause of that, right? So I think there are a number of interlocks. Let's just see, I think, list them. There is PDS system, there's e-stops, there's neutral switch, there is pressure switches, there's CAS, there's a lot of interlocks. So okay, fine. We check all these, let's say we check e-stop and we check neutral switch, it's okay. We can do visual inspection around the engine to see if there's no any open circuit, anything or any damaged wire that we can see with our eyes. So if you don't see that, we can move on. The second thing that you should suspect is power supply, right? So we can, if you want to be sure that is it not the interlock that is not causing this problem, we can actually do it by checking the power supply to the ECU and or to the solenoid. So to the fuel solenoid, right? So what we do is we have to check our mount mirror here, and then we can go to the ECU on the ignition feed. During cranking, you can set this multimeter to voltage, right? To voltage, DC, because remember we are working with the DC. So you set it to DC, 24 volts, right? So, and then you take this lead, this positive lead, you put on the ignition feed. And then this one, you can find a good ground, either on the chassis or straight to the battery to get the good ground. And then during cranking, you have to read here. If you get the 0 volts, it means that there is open circuit or one of the interlocks is active. That's why you got the 0 volts. When you get 24 volts here, it means that all electricals, all the interlocks are fine. You need to talk to the mechanic immediately so that you can check the fuel system. What is happening to the fuel system, right? Maybe there's something that is blocking, either it's a filter, either it's what. So that fuel line, its pressure is low pressure or something. So we need to check that line for fuel. Why? Because there is power to the solenoid or to the ECU, but the engine is not turning. It tells us that everything, the interlocks, there's no interlock that is disturbing the starting system, but somewhere, somehow, there is something in the engine on the fuel side. So we need to check it with the mechanic, the diesel mechanic, right? So we move on. We can also check the crank sensor or cam sensor. These days, our engine that we have, they are fully electronic, right? So when the engine is not reading the RPM, it will not give pulse to the injectors. So it might be that. So what you do is, by checking the tachometer, you can crank the engine. If there is 0 RPM, rev per minute, it means there's a problem. Either the crank sensor is at fault or the wiring is at fault. So these are the things that causes the diesel engine to start, to crank, but failing to start. So if you do all these things, eventually you will find the problem. See you in the next video. Please don't forget to like or to subscribe. I'll be coming up with more scenarios then we discuss together. If you have anything to comment or to add on, please feel free to write it in the comment section. Thank you so much.